Hey, Justice, it's Friday, and I honestly was going to do something a little bit more entertaining today, but instead of doing that, it turned into me just kind of rambling on about random things. As you know, I am recording via my webcam because I realized that I could do that with Movie Maker a couple weeks back, or actually a week ago. And it was that instant of I could have done this whole. I had a moment. I had a very, very, very intense anger induced moment when I found that out. It was like, are you kidding me? But anyway, so your video went over 7 minutes last time, but since you were over in Germany and it was to show off the trip, I will not give you a punishment because one, I'm kind, and two, I don't really see that it's a reason you went 34 seconds over. It's whatever. If we had more people watching our videos, I might have been a little bit more strict, but for the time being, because I'm terrible at making punishments anyway, I'm not going to punish you. So there's that. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, I'm going to move into what I was actually going to talk about. Originally, I was going to have a very long rant conversation where it was just basically me ranting about how people are mixing what socialism and communism is and things like that. But after talking with my father and after dealing with everything else, I've kind of just my mood has sobered up and I haven't really felt the need to rant. I'm just relatively upset now. I moved on from anger and now I'm going into sadness. So soon enough I'll just probably be like screw everything. But my rant was it was going to go around the fact that a lot of people seem to be willing to persecute people for their religion and things like that. I've been talking about this in the rant conversation, so I don't really need to continue over on all that. But basically, I was going to go over a couple things. I do believe that this needs to be talked about, so I'm going to at least mention this. But I've been really annoyed with how people are comparing Obama to Hitler recently. I've seen a couple of posts about this. They're just like, this is just like Hitler. And I've been sitting here quietly watching from the sidelines, wondering how they could compare a fascist to a democratic socialist. They're not the same. Not the same at all. Fascism is a governmental system led by a dictator having complete power, forcibly suppressing opposition and criticism, regimenting all industry, commerce, etc., and emphasizing on aggressive nationalism and often racism. Whereas socialism is a theory or a system of social organization that advocates the vesting of the ownership and control of the means of production and distribution of capital, land, etc., and a community as a whole. There is a difference between the two, and a democratic socialist at that is a person who sits down and cares about the community as a whole and wants people to invest in it and put things in like, say, public schooling or infrastructure. For some people, it would be veterans benefits, things like that. And it is meant to be like that, but it still has a structure of capitalism to it, which means that the government does have control over these small pieces of the government, of our day-to-day lives, but they don't control what we do with our day-to-day lives, which is different from communism, which obviously basically has full control over what we choose as our food, like where we shop for food, what we get for food, how much food we get, things like that, which hilariously, we have had those kind of instances happen throughout our history as the United States of America. There were the food rations that we had during World War II and things like that. There are many instances where socialism has come into our government that hasn't completely destroyed it. And you're not buying that game. I have it, so you can play it. Josh is looking at Super Amazing Wagon Adventure on Steam for some reason. He's looking at the reviews. I don't know why. I guess he's looking for something funny because the two of us are both kind of depressed right now. Talking to people about politics always is depressing. For instance, for me, a couple of days ago, I kind of walled you with a rant that I wanted to post up, but I'm kind of afraid to do so because of the fact that most of my people that are on my Facebook are Republican, and I love you guys all dearly, but I'm kind of afraid to mention where I stand in things. I'm not nearly as afraid to mention it online because here on YouTube, despite the fact that, yes, there will be some brunt for me mentioning this, most of the people that watch us aren't really close family members, and those that do, it's my grandma, and I don't really think that she's going to care either way because we have family members on both sides. But the big thing is that currently, when it comes to everything that's going on, last night I was looking through videos to kind of get an idea of Islam as a whole because I have personally dealt with quite a bit of it throughout my life. I was taught it in high school for a little bit. Like, I didn't learn it personally from somebody who was a devout Muslim, but I did learn it through textbooks, and obviously that is a very white um, side of it because let's face it, most of our history is written by the winners and by the majority, which technically we're not the majority, but we're not going to go into that. But anyway, obviously I learned about that and I learned about the 5 pillars of Islam through high school. And then when I got into work at Meyer, I had a coworker of mine who was from Lebanon, and I learned a lot about Islam through him. And the big thing is that unfortunately, when I was going through those videos, a lot of the comments, especially in like the Vlogbrothers videos, there was a Crash Course World History lesson that went over ISIS and everything. And when you sat down and read through the comments, it was all very hate mongering. And I really just, the part of me that is a nerd fighter was really upset with the community that was posting all this because we are not supposed to be promoting World Suck. And unfortunately, my my thing cut out, so I'm going to be stuck going back here. So that's always fun. But anyway, that was kind of what I was kind of having issues with today. And I've tried recording this a few times afterwards to fix up that problem. But yeah. So that is my problem with the Nerd Fighter, with what's been going on recently. I kind of have lost my train of thought or ability to speak. I've recorded this a few times and my head is flabbergasted. Your word of the week for next week is hate because yeah, that's just what the word's going to be. And I hope that you have a wonderful weekend and I hope that everything is going to go well for the two of us. I'll see you on Monday.